Good afternoon. Welcome to the FBI Bro podcast. My name is Todd Kelly, the writer and creator of Project Titans and Atlas Rising. We are here still at the Infinity Con in Tallahassee, Florida. Very excited. Just give you a heads up if there's any crazy background noise. It's just there's a lot of awesomeness happening around us. There's an 8-foot Pikachu walking around. A lot of great cosplays. Some of them scary, some of them cool. I'm actually pretty convinced there's a real demon walking around here somewhere. So a lot of awesome stuff. So again, welcome to the FBI Bro podcast. We're interviewing amazing creators, entrepreneurs, and just awesome people that we are, lucky enough to spend some time with. So I'm going to let my guest go ahead and introduce himself.
Hello, I'm Jason Wilde. I'm owner of Wilde Comics and Gaming.
Here in Crawfordville, Florida. So one of the first questions I'm going to ask is, so you're basically royalty at these conventions, in my opinion, because you are the person that owns the comic book store. All of us, have wanted to own a store. I think anybody who's ever been interested in comics, I want to do this. So how did you make it happen? How did you ascend the tower and claim the throne?
Let's see. I spent about 15 years in retail doing grocery store, and one day I just said it was time's enough, and I wanted to do something on my own. And what better thing is a comic book store? I deal with a lot of kids, clientele, and I think that's the coolest thing ever is to get kids involved in reading.
So I agree. I've been to the location. We've done a signing at the location. Had a lot of fun. You guys have just an awesome clientele, awesome culture, awesome community.
Yes, it is.
Really a very, very cool thing. So what are some of the things that you guys do at the store to really set it apart?
We sell Pokemon. We do we do trade-in with Pokemon. We do Magic games on Friday night. We sell comic books, Funko Pops. Do a lot of trade-in with both of it. So stuff like that.
So now you guys also do. I know. We'll get into the kind of the COVID stuff, but I know you guys do a lot of the online where you're selling. You guys have a unique community, not only just in your town, but you have a unique community outside of it as well. So talk about that for a second.
So at the beginning we used to sell on Facebook, doing Facebook Lives through the COVID era. That way we can bring in sales when we didn't have it. But now we entered into this stage of like doing Whatnot app. And that helps bring more sales into our store that we didn't normally have on a daily basis.
So for those who don't know, what is Whatnot?
It's a selling app, almost like eBay style. You can bid on it. You can instantly buy. You bid start at $1, and you just go after that. Okay. They do everything from Funkos to comics, anime. A lot of resources on there that you like, that you collect.
How did you get started with that?
Actually had another friend introduce me into it, and then I just got hooked from there as a seller on it.
All right.
It's definitely a hard platform to get into.
Yes, so that's what I've heard. I've heard at first, they had to come to you. Is this how it worked at first?
First you have to apply, and it takes forever. Unless you're a retail store, you just don't jump in. If not, you have to wait months. So with being retail, you get 2 weeks of waiting. And after you get in, it's like steady rolling after that.
Well, that's very cool. So how would they check you out on Whatnot? I know I'm jumping ahead. I normally ask this last, but how would they check you out?
You can look us up on Wilde Comics and Gaming, and we should be able to pull us up right away, our profile on there. And then you can add us as a friend and jump into our lives.
Very cool. So I know this is kind of a tough story to tell, but you guys had when you started off, it was a location or just on the side of the road. It was a smaller building. Again, such a unique one. You guys invested a lot of time and kind of renovated it. But you guys had something very unique happen whenever you first opened the door.
Man.
And again, I know this is a tough one, but I feel like it's part of your history and your culture. So.
It is. 2 weeks after we opened, we had a truck drive through the front of the building.
Just a truck. What type of truck? Like, what do we?
Oh my God! It was like a little rinky-dink Chevy truck. Drove right straight in. It was a rainy day. He was flying down the road. Had a boat on the back of his trailer. I guess I don't know the whole details of it, but I know he ended up hitting a couple cars and then swerved instead of hitting them a second time. He veered off into the building right through our front windows and took out most of our supply.
So how did you find out? I mean, were you in the building? Or
Definitely in the building.
Oh,
We're
geez.
checking out a customer, and then we start hearing all the commotion. We all look outside the windows, and we're seeing him come straight towards us. And I was like, no, not my truck, because my truck was like parked right there in front of the store. I'm like, not my truck, over more. Nope, he took my truck in my building. So it was definitely a big impact on us.
And that was, and then there was COVID.
Yeah, and then there was COVID on top of it. So we were trying to rush to open because of COVID.
Yeah.
And then 2 weeks later that happened. So that was definitely unplanned, but it's definitely into our history now.
Oh, 100%. I mean, you guys, again, at the store, what you push through is, it's inspiring.
Mm-hmm.
It's very real. Like,
never give up, man.
And that's it, right? So, it's very inspiring. And, you and I chatted a little bit yesterday, about kind of some of the stuff that the store's gone through. So, what are some of the things we talked about? How you were selling on Facebook. What are some of the things that you guys did throughout COVID to make sure that you were continuing to, be profitable and push forward and take this dream that you made a reality?
We had to come up with different ideas. Like, not too many places do trading for Pokemon as intense that we do, and we just try to look to different market and what's in our area that no one else is doing, and go above and beyond. We always try to bring out vendors. We always did community day where we try to have all local vendors come to our store. Stuff like that, just reaching out for community and see what they want and going after it.
Again, you mentioned the word community. As someone who came and did a signing in your store, the community is so strong. It was so cool to see because you'll hear me say this about a lot of the stores that I interact with, the people that I interact with the stores, but it's not common in every single store. It's not common. It's just something when you find it in these towns and in these stores with these owners and with these teams that run these stores. It's just people that care about the community, care about their store, and do everything they can to, kind of, again, have this culture within it. And, I remember when we went and we did the signing at your store, it was so cool and it was so unique because for us it's basically a local store, right? So we're about 30 minutes north of Crawfordville. So we're going down there, and I had never seen the store. I don't go to Crawfordville very often. I work in South Georgia, so I usually go the other direction, right?
Right.
So we're going down. We're doing this signing, and I think we had gotten in touch via Facebook. I think it was just kind of one of those things. And it was back when Free Cowboy Day had been stretched out to like 8 weeks.
Yes.
And, so I was just like, all right, cool. I'll come down for one of those. Let's do it. That's fine. I remember walking in the door, and we're like, all right, well, we were late, by the way, so you're going to find this as a theme. I'm sorry, life happens, but we were late. And so we were late. We're coming to the door. We walk in, and I remember we're getting set up, and you guys, again, the store's looking really cool. But I remember we get set up, and we were like, all right, cool, man, how much, we were selling sets of books at the time. I think we had issues 1 through 5 of Project Titans. We were selling them, and Jason's just like, all right, cool. Well, how much? And so I let him know how much we were selling for. He's like, all right, cool. I already got you 5 sales.
Yep.
I'm just like, wait, what? And he's like, yeah. He's like, people that we're interacting with online, we told them we were having any guy come through, and they already bought your books. So I'll tell you this is the first signing that I ever walked into, and I had 5 sales before I'd even set my banner up. And I'm just like, wow, this is great. This is fantastic. And again, it's just the community, right? We were taking our time to come down there, and Jason had invested his time and made sure that we were going to have a profitable day. And I can't tell you how many people came through, and they had promoted the event so well.
Exactly.
And everybody came through, and it was so much fun, and we were just enjoying it. And again, it was just a great time. So, I would say if you ever get a chance to go check out Wild Comics and Gaming, Jason and Definitely. Absolutely do the best they can, and they rock out. It's one of the best cultures, best communities there is. For anybody who's heard what was going on in the background, that was my daughter who just showed up at the show.
Yep.
So the reason I ramble for a second is they're trying to corral her and stop her from jump in. It's all good. Annabelle, I'm sorry.
Describe this really cool thing, and then
so
wish I knew what that looked like.
Kind of take it to the next step. So let's again dig into it. We're talking about the history of the store and kind of everything you guys have pushed through in these last couple of years. So you just had to relocate.
Yes, we did. We're now at 2650 Crawfordville Highway, which is just about 3 minutes down the road from where we were before. A lot better location, a lot open. Our last location was more of like an office building that we've been constantly trying to fix up. And now this place is like really set to go for us. We're excited because it'll give us a better opportunity to get certified through Wizard of the Coast to make actual tournaments for a store, or certified tournaments for a store. Yeah, it's an awesome new building.
So I look forward to coming check it out. We're going to go do a signing most likely in August and do something and see what we can do. But again, I think even so, you talked about never giving up, and I want to see if you're willing to elaborate just on kind of, this wasn't exactly you guys just sat there and said like, all right, I want to change the location. There was hardship that came into this. Are you comfortable sharing a little bit of that?
A little bit, I can. Sadly to say, our landlord ended up selling the building last minute. We had to end up finding a new location, but it was definitely our little home for a while that we were constantly trying to fix up and get us to our goal, which was to get us certified through Wizard of the Coast and through Pokemon, so that way we can continue our community what they were asking for, which was trading cards.
Right.
So, which is pretty much fun.
Yeah.
It is so much fun dealing with kids with Pokemon than any other thing in the world. Those kids are like the most awesomest customers.
And so I remember seeing a lot of the content you guys would post on social media. And I thought you guys do a really good job with your social media, and just putting it out there, making sure that people stay connected. And I thought it was really cool. For a while you guys were doing your shows on like your Pokemon tournaments on like Friday nights and different things. And I remember seeing multiple times where you guys were posting like you didn't even have any cards. Like you guys had cards that people were going to play with.
Right.
And I thought that was something that's really cool. And I know a few other stores do it as well, but I always thought it was something that was really cool because that was also during like the Pokemon card shortage. Like,
yes.
The great shortage of like there's no Pokemon cards available, and you guys are still making some available for kids to come in and play.
Yeah, when there was no packs, we were making packs just so they can buy packs for kids. So it was definitely a challenging time for I don't know how you describe that. The COVID pack craving. I mean, it's just everybody was at home and all they wanted to do is just collect.
I remember, again, so I mentioned I work in South Georgia, and I had a friend of mine who was big into it at the time, and he basically was just like, hey, man, like, anytime you stop in the store, find something over there.
Yeah, grab it, man, because this was a hot community thing
and
to
then,
get.
I had another buddy who ran a store, and he was just like, yo, I can't get any. Like, if you find it, just buy it, send it to me. Like, I'll pay it right back. And
I think right now it's probably the most I've ever seen in the warehouse, but it's still limited to what sets you can get.
Yeah.
It's like a few booster boxes here and there. Hopefully they'll start picking back up, reprinting it where it's easier for us stores to kind of build up the demand a little bit more.
So what's jump and ship a little bit? What's your experience been with one of the shows like this? So we're at Affinity Con in Tallahassee, hence the chaos and background noise, and just enjoy. So what has your experience been at shows like this? Are you able to?
Man, it is crazy.
Yeah.
Man. This is my second con as a seller, and I still don't know what to expect. I'm still struggling knowing what to bring because you're like, I don't know what people would want. This is the first year I brought like dollar books, just number of dollar books and pops. So it's been fun. It's really cool to see how anime's been taking off more than superheroes in this area. It's definitely a change. So I love it. These events are the coolest things ever because you get to go meet your other fellow vendors, your friends that basically are selling. It's like a big happy family. We all help each other out here. So I couldn't ask for a better community of sellers to work with and vendors.
So I agree with that. Now, so obviously I got to witness something a little earlier, and that was you teaching your son how to sell.
Yes.
So what was going on?
I was trying to teach him the art of, we got him on the table. He's selling Pokemon. And then I'm teaching him how to negotiate and haggle a little bit. So he was going around to all the vendors trying to see if he can trade a big Funko Pop for some product for what he wanted. So he actually did it too. Yeah. So it's cool. Good old friend, Austin ended up making it right for him. So that was cool. It made his day too. So
what is that like in the actual, like you going and doing it? Like when you're trying to get product, and you're trying to work with those stores, how does that, was it, they're probably not as generous to you as they are yourself.
Definitely not as generous. But it's different. I'll say that. But no, a lot of other dealers are willing to work because they like to see the community grow. I mean, more stores is like the greatest thing for us because it gives more people wanting the product. Less stores means you're not going to get that customer base. So it just kind of like kills the market. So more competitors out there, it makes everybody step up their game. So helping one another out, I think it's pretty important.
All right, yeah, hear that again. Helping everybody
Exactly.
out, helping one another out is very important. And I
It
completely
is.
agree. So somebody again, I'm indie comic guy, and I'll tell you that for me, majority of the artists I work with are ones that I've met at shows. I've learned so much from other writers. I've learned so much from other publishers, stuff along the lines. And again, people who work at comic book stores.
Yeah.
I still remember COVID. So COVID, was tough on everybody, obviously.
Right.
And I remember when we initially made our books,
It
we
went that
made
way.
our books to sell at shows. That was all we were really focused on. We weren't trying to get them in
Figure
stores.
when
We
you
were just
went
trying to
like
sell at
this, I
shows.
was like, oh,
So, we had our first 3, and we never put issues, the numbers 1, 2, and 3 on them because
Right.
selling them at a table, and I can just tell you this is 1, 2, and 3. It's never a big deal.
Mhm.
Well, so COVID happens, and Diamond shuts down, and they're not shipping books to anybody. And so I end up reaching out to a whole bunch of stores and saying, "Hey, look, here you do. You want to have new comic book day? I got comics.
Yes,
Let's
you did.
work out a very favorable deal. Like, let's do something. I'll ship you some books or whatever." And so I remember shipping to a bunch of different stores, and one of the stores hits me up and like, "Todd, man, I got your books. They look fantastic. Which one's 1? Which one's 2? And which one's 3?" And I said,
Oh no.
So from then on, we numbered the books, and but I mean, it's just one of those things where you learn, you grow,
Yep.
and we built it one way because that's what we were doing, and then very quickly the world adjusted, and we had to adjust with it.
Exactly.
And that's kind of what I found, and that's one of the things you guys, kind of watching from a distance, and being a supporter of you and your team. You've continued to adapt and continued to push
Exactly.
through and continued. And again, I even thought it was really cool, bringing Derek today. I thought that was
Yes.
over the weekend. I thought
Mhm.
bringing Derek. So we've had Derek on the show. So his is probably going to air on Thursday. But so just kind of, what's your relationship like with him? How did you meet
Man.
Derek?
So Derek, I had a customer that was in the church group with Derek. He's like, "Man, you gotta meet this Marvel inker. He's an artist. He just moved into town." I was like, "Great, I would love to meet him." Out of the blue, he showed up and he was like, "Hey, I'm Derek Fisher." I'm like, "Your name rings a bell." And he goes, "Yeah, let me bring in some art."
Yeah.
So he walks outside, brings in a whole portfolio. I'm like, "Oh, you're the guy that Derek. Okay, I know who you are now." But he's been an amazing guy to work with. I feel like he had like some sour issues with the 90s and stuff like that. I think it was good to
Haven't we all?
yes
I
to
mean,
try to help him get back in the spirits of comics again. And I feel like that's the coolest thing ever. Seeing him being here at the con and he's like seeing all the sparks reigniting within him. So it's so cool to give that back to someone
There
that
you go.
gave us such good artwork throughout comic books. So it's definitely cool.
Completely agreed. So we'll head towards the end here. So what is a bit of advice that you would give anybody who's looking to open up their own store or get started kind of in that realm in terms of selling?
Just do it, man. Go for it, man. It's worth it because I might have had a lot of obstacles that was challenging to where I was gonna quit my first 2 years, but man, your clientele will make you change your mind instantly. I had a point where it was just super slow. I just didn't have enough sales, and I was just about ready to quit. And the little boy came in with a note, told me that what I was doing mattered, and that kind of like instantly sparked back me up to where I was forced to do online sales, just trying to get to survive, and it did. So I mean, it's worth it. I would say just go for it, live that dream, and don't turn back. So it's definitely a worth pile of a roller coaster to do. So even if through the hard times, just go.
There you go.
at
Let's
it.
do it.
Yep.
Let's do it. Nobody's gonna do it for you. You got to get out there. And
Exactly.
Make it happen. So
It's not hard to do. You can start small and just keep growing.
very cool. All right. So on Whatnot, look you up. Wilde
Yep.
Comics and Gaming. How's it going, man? And the store location address again.
It's going to be 2650 Crawfordville Highway. You can follow us on Facebook at Wild Comics and Gaming, whatnot, Wild Comics and Gaming, and you can follow us on eBay at Wild Comics and Gaming too. So thank you guys.
That's all nice and easy. I like it.
It is.
Yeah,
It's straightforward.
Like you did it on purpose.
Even on Instagram, Wild Comics and Gaming.
There you go. Give them a follow. Show them some
Yep.
love. Thank you for taking the time with us today. Everyone have a great one.
Bye guys. Excelsior.